Hi everybody. I just wanted to talk to y'all real fast this week about something that affects every one of us, and that is the weather. Now, the weather this time of year in the mid to late spring transition, that's when we're experiencing the fickleness of Mother Nature. When we're used to these warm, sunny, nice, comfortable days, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the weather will have a cold snap for a few days that really catches us off guard. And that's a common thing. It's so common, in fact, that we have names for these cold snaps. And some people call them the 5 little winters of Tennessee. And their names go as redbud winter, dogwood winter, blackberry winter, locust winter, and the last one is one I'd never heard of before. It's called Linsey Woolsey Britches winter. And I'll tell you just in a minute what that means. But these cold snaps, they played a very important part in society. They still do to some extent, but back when our ancestors were lacking in the technological department that we've been blessed with today, as far as weather radar, television, all these different tools that they use to prepare for weather, they didn't have that luxury back then. So they depended on signs from Mother Nature to tell them when they needed to plant their gardens, because back then, obviously, people lived off what they grew and harvested. They were dependent on it, so they had to make sure they were giving themselves the best chance possible to raise a crop that they could depend on to survive off of. And they would rely on Mother Nature to go by her signs to know when it was appropriate to do that. And one of the important winters in that aspect was dogwood winter, which occurs typically between late April and early May. And that occurs obviously while the dogwood trees are blooming, and then we have a cold snap. And they knew after dogwood winter was over, that was typically the safest time to plant their crops that wouldn't be affected by cold weather. They would miss that cold snap, and the plants and crops would be fine. Another winter is blackberry winter, what I mentioned earlier. And blackberry winter is it's kind of a cool phenomenon in the fact that blackberry plants, their shoots, they have to be stimulated by a late cold weather event for them to grow and have those blooms. And it just assists in the progression of that plant. Eventually coming those sweet blackberries that we like to eat so much, we go out and pick. Now, Linsey Woolsey Britches winter, I've never heard of that one, but what that is long underwear, long johns, thermal underwear as we know it, which we do sell at Co-op, by the way. Keep that in mind for next winter. Thermal underwear, back in the old days, people wore it more commonly to stay warm in the wintertime. And they were made out of a combination of linen and wool, hence the name Linsey Woolsey Britches. But this occurred in late May, and whenever this last cold snap happened, they knew that it was time. Okay, it's over with. We can finally pack up our long underwear for until next winter through the summer. So that was the reason they called it Linsey Woolsey Britches winter, which is kind of a funny name. But it's really cool thinking about these weather events and how throughout history, that's what people used to survive off of. They went by Mother Nature and listened to her and these events that God put into place to survive off of. Just like in Ecclesiastes, Solomon writes that there's a time for everything, and he goes through a list of appropriate times for different things, but he says there's a time to plant and a time to harvest, and that rings very true still today. Everybody, we appreciate y'all watching. We hope y'all have a very blessed week. Please come see us up at the store anytime, and please visit our Facebook and website page.